Katsuhiro Kohara, Director of Center for Interdisciplinary Study of Monotheistic Religions, Doshisha University. Today, we have Professor Samir, or Samir Sensei, as our guest. Professor Samir is a professor of Center for Advanced Research and Higher Education of Doshisha University. And at the same time, he's a deputy director of our center. Very recently, he has visited his home country, Egypt. So after President Mubarak decided to step down and moved power to the military's Supreme Council. So today we'd like to share his experience. First of all, I would like you to talk about your general impression when you visited Egypt.
Professor Kohara, thank you very much. Every year I used to visit Egypt for 2 times, 3 times to participate in conference or symposiums. But this year actually I visited Egypt to see the revolution. We call it 25th January Revolution. I selected Friday because on Friday the people will be collected there, maybe 1 million people were collecting there. So I decided to go very early in the morning. I entered Tahrir Square. So in Tahrir Square I saw the young peoples and I saw many kind of Egyptian people who came from all over Egypt, from Upper Egypt, from Alexandria, from Suez. So early morning, of course, very few people, but gradually we saw maybe 1 million people because no place to move. So the young people, their way of talking, their way of discussing, their expression completely changed. I felt as if I am in New Egypt, completely different from Egypt, which I saw for 30 years.
I see. Yeah, as you said, Friday is a special day for Muslim people, Egyptian citizens, because this is a prayer day. But besides praying, what are people doing mainly in the Tahrir Square?
Yes, in Tahrir Square, before praying before noon, I mean in the morning, the people were collecting together, discussing together. Many groups of young people were talking and discussing together. And many people show their demands, and they wrote their demands. And many people living there. Tahrir Square was like small Egypt.
I see.
The people live there, places to sit, places to eat. The people are selling food. The people are what we can say consuming the revolution, selling T-shirts, selling pictures, selling Egyptian flags. And at noon, when prayer started, when the prayer started at noon, you know, the people are Muslim and Christian together. So the Muslim are praying, the Christian people are keeping the situation and keeping everything calm during the prayer time. This for me was very interesting to see such a thing.
Yeah, so the situation is completely very peaceful.
Yes, what I noticed mainly that everything is peaceful in Tahrir Square. No one shot, no one hurt another one. Everything moving smoothly and peacefully.
Yeah, what struck me is that the democratization of Egypt has accomplished in very peaceful way, unlike the Libya, where now the government is attacking people and killing so many people. But why was the process so peaceful in Egypt? So the military has never shot the citizens, and so it seems that the people has a lot of sympathy with the military. Yeah, what is the main reason?
Yes, I want to explain one point. In Egypt we have a police. So the police duty was to keep the government. So the army duty is to keep the country. So when the police failed to protect the government. The police escaped. The army's duty is to protect the people. So the army people came to protect the people, not to attack the people. What I noticed there actually, the young people with the army people near the tanks, sitting together, eating together, having tea together, talking together. Even the people, young people, are helping the army protecting the area, the limitation of Tahrir Square itself.
I see. So now, I'd like to move to another topic. So from the outside, it seems that the pro-democratic movement in Egypt had no religious color. But quite a few people are very anxious about a kind of Islamization of the new Egypt. So I'd like to ask about that point, the relationships between religion, namely Islam, and New Egypt. And it is often said that the big organization, Muslim Brotherhood, has been playing a very big role in the Egyptian society. And so, could you talk about the Muslim Brotherhood in the recent days?
Yes. The Muslim Brother in Egypt actually was doing very good work, we can say social work, welfare work.
Yes.
So, the government from the other side wants the European media to understand that Muslim Brothers are fanatical, and if Muslim Brother came in power, so Egypt will be like Iran, for example. But during the revolution, Muslim Brother actually were helping a lot, but they didn't show themselves as a power. After the revolution succeeded, after Mubarak left, the Muslim Brother leaders declare in a very clear way that they are not going to nominate anyone to be a president of Egypt, and they are not intend to have majority in the parliament even. Muslim Brother has two wings now, the young people, the youth, and the old generation people. Between them, we cannot say kind of conflict, but the young generation people want to lead now the Muslim Brother, they want to help the society, and they declare in a very clear way that we are going to follow the Egyptian people. We are not going to push the Egyptian people to have any decisions. We are going to follow the people. We are going to follow the revolution by ourselves.
I see. So, as you said, Egyptian people don't like Iranian type of theocracy or such kind of relationships between Islam and the country, right?
Yes, in Egypt actually we don't like to have a fanatical Islam. Egyptian history shows this fact. We don't have the Iranian system, and even as you told me before, we don't want to have a Turkish system. We want to have our Egyptian tolerant Islam. The history give this lesson to the Egyptian people.
So that means Turkey has a strong policy of secularization, like Greek, but Egypt doesn't follow such a way. So like Turkey.
Yes, we in Egypt, either Muslim or Christian, we are very religious people, but we are not fanatical. The Coptic people, the Christian people are religious, the Muslim people are religious, but we are not fanatical. In the same time, we are religious people.
I see. Yeah. So, I'd like to talk about the other religions besides Islam. So, as you already said that about Copts. Yeah. So, in the history of Egypt, Copts has a long history of coexistence with Muslims, but unfortunately, especially since the beginning of this year, the Coptic Church has been a target of violence in Egypt. So the new Egypt would be more tolerant to other religions represented by Copts.
Actually, in Egypt we have a conflict between Muslim and Copts. This conflict was not a real conflict. It was created by we discover now it was created by the Egyptian government to keep the country in a very confusion situation so they can control the people. It was discovered that the Egyptian government, the Minister of Interior, arranged and planned for bombing the church in Alexandria for many political reasons. And what happened when I was in Egypt, attacking one church, destroying one church near Helwan.
That was at the beginning of March.
Yes, beginning of March. The story was that the quarreling was among the Muslim people themselves, not the Christian people. And after this, what happened? It is the first time in the history of Egypt. Never happened in the history of Egypt that one church was destroyed. And in the next day, the Egyptian government declared that they will rebuild the church, and the people in the village start also to help building this church. So I think nowadays the Coptic and we Muslim and Christian, we are Copts. I am Egyptian, I am Copt. Every Egyptian is Copt. Copt means Egypt. We people, we intend to live in peace like before.
I see. Yeah. The Copts make up almost 10% of the whole Egypt population. Yeah, so they are not a very small minority. Yeah, they are real citizens of Egypt. So what kind of feeling do the Egyptian people towards the Copts? So as you said, do they all have a sympathy with Coptic people?
We Muslim, of course, have a sympathy from the very beginning when Islam entered Egypt. It was Islam who set free the Coptic Christian from the beginning. Nowadays, and before this conflict, the Muslim and Christian live all together. We never think about he is a Muslim, he is Christian in the government organization. And I'm telling you something. For example, the mosque will be closed after prayer, but the church will not be closed. So the Christian people have a freedom in Egypt, and we don't think he is Christian, so he will take this job or this job. We don't want to say that Christian people are minority inside Egypt. They are Egyptian, and we all are Egyptian. We don't say minority. We don't like to say that they are minority in Egypt.
So you respect religious diversity in Egypt?
Yes, surely.
Very good. Okay. Yeah, thank you very much for your impressive talk and sharing your experiences.
Thank you very much, Professor Khan. Thank you very much.